Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Crowdfunding Games Ones to Watch. In this episode we're taking a look at 2 Kickstarter games, Last Week of Summer and Alien Agendas. Let's take a look at this game. Last Week of Summer by Sean Holt from his company Allies or Enemies is a game for 1 to 4 players, it's for about 45 to 90 minutes and is for ages 14 and up. Each player is allocated a colour and associated with that these cassette tapes. And the goal of the game is to win as many of these cassette tapes as you possibly can by completing different challenges from different locations. So for each game, you can choose out of 6 possible locations. Depending on the player count, you can choose 4 or 5 locations, which means there's replayability. In future games, you can choose a different one. So for example, you could go to the arcade. You would roll these lovely looking dice. And depending what values you get, you would fill your cubes on the relevant squares. And depending if you filled different number of rows, you would win cassettes. And this is endgame scoring for this high score. Whichever player had the highest one would win another cassette. On the bottom, you've got friendship tracks. So you have this concept of cool kids. And the cool kids can appear in different locations at different times. And if they're there, you might be moving along the friendship track, and as you do that, that unlocks further things like cheat codes where you can change the value of the dice. So it's very innovative, and there's all these different mini games. So that's one location. You can see here you can also spend money to get extra rolls, and your actions depend on whether there's one of you or whether somebody else has also chosen that location. Each player also gets one of these cool Velcro wallets. So there's things that are full of nostalgia in the game. Very cute. You get to put your little dollar coins on there, and that allows you to buy various things at the different locations. This is a player board, so you get little cubes as you collect different movies. VHS, of course. These are different albums you can collect from the record store. And to show you this part here, you've got AM, noon and PM. So for each of these 3 time slots, you're also choosing which location you're going to by taking your player card. Varies by player colour. And you're choosing whether you're going to be working at that location or just hanging out. And it's very interesting because for each time slot, you're also looking at this board, which tells you where the cool kids are hanging out. And that's going to affect the decisions by location if there's only one of you there or there's multiple people there. At the end of every day, there's a party, and who gets to go depends on how well you've done on the challenges at that location. So the person who's got the most cassettes, for example, here, would be invited to the party, and they would get an extra cassette each time. This is what the top record store looks like. So when I was a kid, we had Virgin Records. And on each side, you can see it tells you which albums are available to buy and how they move up the charts. And as they move, it affects the points of how much your albums are worth. You're going to be collecting on your player board albums as you buy them. So you can see if, for example, you're the only one there, you pay $1 for 2. But if there's more of you there, or if a cool kid is there as well, you're going to be buying 1 or 2 for $1 each. And there's achievements here. So if you get all in one row, for example, all hip hop, you would get a cassette. And you win cassettes by if you have the most valuable collection, depending on how this scores. And also if you're working, then these options become relevant for if you're working at that location. This is the Prime Video location for renting VHS. In the UK, this is Blockbuster. And you can see you spend money to rent movies, and these are represented by these little icons, which show you the type of movie it is. And you can see on your player board, you get to move the cubes along as you borrow them. And once 10 are taken out, you actually refill the board with this reminder. You can see as you move along the friendship track that you unlock more movies. This is the skate park where you do tricks. So as you unlock different types of block, if you match 3 together, then you're building a tile structure outside of this board. And if you have 3 tiles connecting together in either an L shape or a straight line, you get to win a cassette. This is the Burger Rocket location, and you get to pay to eat. And as you do, you turn over these cards, and for each one that says yum, you get to move up a track. But it's a bit like Can't Stop in that you turn over cards and you decide when to stop. If you get one that says yuck, then that means that you lose all progress on your other cards that you've taken, and you only get to move once on the corresponding food item for the yuck. So it makes it quite interesting. Again, you've got cassette achievements if you reach the top of those tracks. The full review of this game will be coming to my Instagram at @BoardGameLife. Now let's take a look at this game, Alien Agendas, and this is on Kickstarter, and it's basically a rummy style game where each player is trying to get 3 agendas. You can block each other using intercept cards, and the person with the most points wins. Take a look at the deck. It's a game for 3 to 5 players, lasts about 15 to 60 minutes, so it's quite a variation, to be honest. It could either be a short game or long game. I guess it depends how many players you have. And the cards look very interesting. These are the agendas. These are the points at the top. They're worth different amounts. It's a game for ages 13 and up. As you can see, the artwork is very otherworldly. Really suits the theme. Stonehenge. If you're interested in X-Files, Aliens, this game might appeal to you. And the full review of this game will be coming to my Instagram at @BoardGameLife. Transicopia is a hidden dice placement game with simultaneous turns and objective win conditions. This is a game for 2 to 5 players for ages 10 and up and plays for about 50 minutes. In Transicopia, all players have their own game board, allowing them to place dice in secret before the conflict is revealed for all players. There are many zones to choose from, where you can deploy 1 or more dice, gain resources, access artifacts, acquire elements for your submarine, and control more powerful dice. Employ a unique character every game for fresh strategic options. Your unique upgrade card, which dictates the specific parts and tech requirements for you to advance to the next phase. The submarine graveyard, where specific die rolls can be used to salvage parts for your own sub. The light cards cycle between players each turn, changing the number of dice available and the available reward at the alien vessel zone. Inventory of artifacts this player has access to. These grant additional options and abilities throughout the game. So it looks very interesting. Looks like good feedback there.